Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Yocom, and we got a great show for you tonight. Here on the Pro Tip Podcast, our goal is to highlight professionals, pros of many industries, and let them showcase their business and give professional advice and pro tips, obviously, to benefit you, the listeners. So if you like what you see, we love you to like and subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Pro Tip Podcast. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@Pro Tip Podcast. And you can also check us out on Instagram as well. And today I'm really excited to have my friend Bailey with us here. And Bailey West, he is from Precision Services LLC, right?
Yes, sir.
Demolition and excavating.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are out of where?
Generally the Upper Perkiomen Valley.
Okay.
Montgomery County.
Montgomery County. And so, man, we were sitting here talking a little earlier about how we met. And I think it was kind of like an online thing where I looked you up because I had a demo job that I was looking into. And we never really connected on it, but we just kind of stayed in touch via, Facebook, I guess.
Facebook, yeah.
You know, I saw, you got married and everything and getting ready to start a family. So, ladies and gentlemen, my man, Bailey West from Precision Services LLC.
Yeah. My name's Bailey West, proud owner of Precision. We specialize in all phases of demolition. It's kind of our niche, if you call it. Offer quite a few excavation services, a lot of underground stuff for utilities, electrical contractors, plumbing contractors, and which we'll probably get into.
Yeah.
But quite a array of services for sure between the two.
You like getting dirty.
We do. We do.
I thought, well, we'll talk a little bit more about one of the services you do, but we're a pretty dirty outfit as well. I mean, anyone who knows anything about drywall and the dust and sanding, and it gets everywhere. So I kind of can relate with you there, bud. So for starters, man, just tell us a little bit about your background, growing up and what made you get into the construction industry. And if you want to talk about your family a little bit.
Yeah. So, pretty much grew up in the Upper Perk area my whole life. I stayed there. Moved out of my parents around 20 years old. Got my own place in between, type deal. Was working pretty much a 9-to-5 for what I went to vocational school for, which was HVAC.
Okay.
Stayed working in the plumbing. It was more of the plumbing trades. Worked for my dad's company for a while there that he worked for at the time. Kind of just grew up around the plumbing, kind of got sucked into it.
Yeah.
But it was a great time. I mean, definitely wouldn't change any of that. Being able to work with my dad and have that experience and just everything he taught me and the work ethic and just all that kind of stuff. Super grateful for. So around 2021, I had switched to another company. Figured I kind of had to get out on my own. And was probably there for, I want to say almost 2 years. And let me correct that. That was probably back 2019, 2020. So fast forward probably towards my second year with them, I'm like, I'm really getting tired of being a 9-to-5er. So I decided to go to 5 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Took the easy way out,
Yes.
right? Be in your own business.
So
That's a pro tip.
started doing work on the side. Never thought in a million years I'd be where I am now. And it kind of kicked off. Just started with a couple buddies of mine started out doing a lot of demo projects on the weekends. And one thing led to the other. And, before I knew it, I gave my 2 weeks to the company, which they weren't thrilled about. And I just took the leap of faith and went out on my own. So we're on the start of our 5th year now,
Nice.
4 years down. I've learned a lot. Last June, married my wife, which is so far still my greatest accomplishment.
Awesome.
So that's a blessing for sure. And we're just full steam ahead, growing every day. And
That is awesome. Good stuff, man. So you worked with your dad. What a blessing. I know you said you're grateful for that, and I'm sure your dad is too. I took my son to like 2 drywall jobs when he was little, and he didn't want to do that for the rest of his life. So it doesn't always happen, especially when you do a really tough trade. But I do have quite a few friends that work as a father and son team, and definitely be a blessing for sure. So
absolutely.
good stuff. So yeah, I think getting married was one of my biggest accomplishments as well. So awesome, man. Let's see. One of the things I wanted to ask you was, other than getting started, I kind of did a little stalking, and we'll kind of break down. I was stalking a little bit of your page, and saw some really cool stuff on there, which we'll give you the channels and stuff a little bit. But I saw your one ad that you had, and I loved it. It said, "We break things so you can build dreams." So
That's
right. was that your idea, or who came up with that one?
See, that was not my idea.
Okay.
I'd love to take the credit for that ingenuity, or whatever you want to call it. But that was a buddy of mine that's helped build our website, and he's been a huge asset to me and huge help with becoming more established with the Google platforms, the website, all the back end stuff that we really needed help with, as me kind of just jumping into this, had zero experience with. So that was actually some of the AI images, I guess, he made up, and a lot of people got a kick out of it.
Come on, think about it. As even a young kid, could you imagine, say, I get paid to break things?
I've gotten that a lot.
You get paid to break things. Usually I get in trouble when I break stuff. Yeah. I've broken a few things in people's homes when I was working, and it cost me money instead of getting paid.
That's right.
But so also kind of on that same ad, and I just want to break down a little bit, because I was looking at the list of what you do, and obviously at the top it was the residential and commercial, demolition and excavating. Pretty cut and dry there. But then I saw selective demolition, and that kind of, what is that?
So, generally speaking, for any homeowners or someone that might not understand the term, kind of, it's pretty much what the name is, selective. So that could be, say we're doing a house project, residential, commercial, anything, and you're not doing a complete demolition, that would be this wall, these ceilings, this floor, this one beam needs to come out. Yeah. Structural beam, but you got to support it. So it's really anything selective, that's per print that needs to come out to allow for the next, most of the time, building phase. Okay. That makes sense. I wasn't sure. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then mechanical demolition I saw on there as well. So mechanical is... Sounds dangerous. It can be. It's one of my favorite for sure. Okay. A lot of the times, is obviously HVAC or plumbing related. So whether it's commercial, residential, mechanical, HVAC equipment, we've done a lot of big commercial boilers, steel piping, gas mains, stuff like that that would run into a building that they need out to replace with new. A lot of times, obviously we got to remove whether it's freon, ammonia, chemicals like that
Yeah.
out of the units, which I personally enjoy because there is some kind of, strict order to that to properly dispose of a lot of that stuff.
Do you have to have any kind of like certification or anything for that? Does that come licensing or certification, training or anything for?
So if you're doing things the right way, which you should be,
Yeah. Pro tip.
as far as any freon or refrigerant, yes, at least as far as we're concerned. So there is an EPA course. You can have levels 1 through 3 or a universal, and basically this certification will license you to remove, handle, transfer any freon or refrigerant liquid.
Gotcha.
Which I acquired back in tech school, which kind of worked out. So that we're good for, train my guys.
You were able to get that certification at tech school?
In tech school, yeah.
Really?
I was actually...
Did it save a ton of money, like doing it through school? Was it? I wonder if it's really expensive.
Honestly, I
to
never
do
looked. It's just like one of the things that kind of worked out, and I had the cert that I'm using now.
That's awesome.
10 years, well, going on a decade later.
Yeah.
So that's a strict one for sure, is any refrigerants. And then ammonia, stuff like that. It's good to have hazmat awareness, stuff like that. A lot of the times, the more non-toxic chemicals, I wouldn't say, in most cases you need any kind of degree or certification, as far as I'm concerned. But, we all have, hazmat awareness training courses. We have our OSHAs and then the universal for the EPA.
Gotcha.
So.
Does any of that fall under the whole lead paint situation? Like if you're going in to rip a house down or demo, I should say maybe a demo, an existing structure that's going to remain, is there any issues with the whole lead paint thing? And I know we don't usually pay attention to that too much, but we're not really the demo guys either, but I'm sure I've dealt with enough. But is that an issue? Or?
Absolutely. Between that and the asbestos, for sure, which we are not at the moment an asbestos removal company. That requires a completely different certification.
Okay.
And a lot of times these days, that's like a completely niche little market. You kind of have a specialized crew come in for that. They kind of have the right equipment. As far as lead paint, that's something really any demo crew should be able to deal with. That just comes down to proper ventilation, proper PPE, standard.
Awesome. Learning a lot, dude. So you talked about a niche. That's going to take me to the question we talked about a little earlier. Out of all the things you do, right? I mean, it's a pretty good list. Is there that one thing where you're like, that's the most fun, or I'd rather be doing that all day than the other aspects of the business?
100% operating equipment. I've pretty much been doing it all my life. Going back to my dad, he had me on case backhoes. I mean, probably got pictures of me. I must have been 5 years old, ripping bamboo out. I mean, and that's where I started. And ever since, I just couldn't get away from the playing on equipment.
That's awesome.
Now I get to do it for a living. Not as much as I'd like anymore, but just really running heavy equipment. That's my thing.
Big toys. Real big toys. Yeah.
I mean, they go bigger, but my choice of equipment, I mean, some guys like the heavy iron, the dozers, stuff like that. I'm an excavator track hoe guy.
Okay.
I'd say the most experience on any excavator up to a 30, 40 ton. Starting to get into the high reach machines for training on some high reach demo. It's kind of the direction we're looking to go. But as of right now.
That's really cool. Yeah. So Which one should I ask first? The cool tools or the machines? Since we're on the tools and machines, like, is there one that like steps? I know for us drywalling, we have our automatic taper is called the bazooka, and a lot of people in the trades have seen the bazooka, but then there's a lot of people, homeowners and stuff, where we pull that thing out and they're like, "What is that?" Like, "Oh, it's the bazooka." Well, it even looks like a bazooka, and it's just something so neat and fun to watch if you've never seen it. It's not so fun to run because it hurts and it's heavy and you got to do, but something that puts the mud on, puts the tape on, cuts the tape, creases the tape, puts it in the corner to show someone that.
Yep.
Countless homeowners I have that are like, "What is that? That thing's really cool." I'll be like, "All right, well, if we're in their basement, we're like, go upstairs, do your thing. I'll give you a yell when we're actually running it." And then we kind of like put on a little show for them. So do you have any kind of like tools or pieces of equipment or anything that's like unique or kind of fun to watch? Or
Again, my personal, as far as heavy equipment, always the machines. I mean, no matter what it is, lighter equipment, heavier equipment, I love watching them. I love operating them. As far as our everyday tools for more, interior demo, which is a whole nother animal.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
A lot more laborious. That just comes down to a lot of hand tools, power tools. I can't say I love them. I will say I love the. I'm a Milwaukee guy, so
Okay.
any of the Milwaukee tools, I am strict on that.
You are the Milwaukee guy.
I am that guy.
That is awesome.
So I that's probably my thing there for sure.
All right. I got a Milwaukee. It's the funny thing, my assistant gets on me because he's like, "We got DeWalt's, we got Milwaukee, we got Royal B, we got Milwaukee, we got the what's the other one I can't even think of." But
DeWalt.
I got the DeWalt, Milwaukee, Bosch.
Bosch, they're good. I'll give them.
And I have I have all these separate batteries, all the separate chargers. And he's been telling me, I just never listened to him because I'll pick one up. He's like, "Why don't you just get all the same brand?"
Right.
So the batteries are all interchangeable and this
agree.
and that. And of course, I don't listen all the time. So, kind of screw myself out of that. Do you have one of those? I see the guys do like, it like splits the ground, like almost like opens it up for them like lay. I guess that's the cable guys. They like lays the cable and puts the ground. You ever see them? It just literally moves down and it like splits it, lays it, and
without
just.
seeing it, I'm not sure.
I think the Med Ed guys had it. It was kind of neat how they bury a wire with it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it literally like it's almost like a knife that cuts the ground just enough. It kind of pries it open.
I got you.
The thing lays in there and it just puts it right back, and you almost don't even see it. So, yeah, there's all kinds of neat gadgets out there as time goes on. There's no AI robot, though, that's going to grab a sheet of drywall and put me out of work. I can tell you that right now. The fake videos online say that, but ain't nobody going to go knocking on your door, a robot. Not in our lifetime, anyway. But, all right, so we covered the cool tools, machines. How about jobs? Like, have you... I know for me, I got maybe 5 jobs or whatever that we've done over the years that have really kind of at the top. Some of them were for some celebrities or big, or like, is there any jobs that really stick out? Any kind of cool stories, maybe? Did you find any cool artifacts? I know demoing's huge for finding stuff, right?
Yeah. So as far as cool jobs go, can't say we've done any work for celebrities yet. But as far as cool to me in the short 4 years that I've had the opportunity, I'd say just more of the commercial aspect side of things. To me, the more commercial high-rise buildings type deal is kind of more my thing. I enjoy the commercial aspect. That's kind of my thing as we're trying to get into that heavier. So we did complete a complete interior demo project for a 4-story commercial building in Phoenixville, Chester County. It was roughly, I believe, 45,000 square foot of, flooring, ceiling, mechanicals, walls, everything complete, opening it up to steel and concrete. So that one is probably at the top of my list.
So when you're 4 stories up, how do you get the debris down? Do you build the chutes and stuff?
Good question. So yes, the very first part of that project was spending 2 days getting a 80-foot genie lift out there, removing, I want to say it was roughly 6x6 window panels. So on floors 2, 3, and 4, removed the windows, framing, everything, built temporary walls with temporary plywooded windows, man doors. And then from there, second day, we rigged up basically almost a 60-foot long debris chute, which we basically had a dumpster pad at the bottom with an area. 9 times out of 10, those things do not work the way they show it in videos. I will say that was a complete learning experience for me. The first, couple bins go down great, but once it piles up in the dumpster, you're sending a guy down or keeping a guy down there all day, manually, maintaining that dumpster. And it's not what the internet shows. So that was a complete learning curve. But that was the second day, setting up the debris chute, and then getting right into the demo.
But without that, though, there's no way you can just carry stuff up and down
or
flights
recklessly throw it out the window.
Well, and that's what us drywall guys do. So if the dumpster's anywhere close and we get to that window, that's the goal. Keep the dumpster close enough that we can toss. But, when you're tossing out sheets of drywall, sometimes they take off like a kite. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we got to go out every once in a while and pick up a few pieces. Depends on how far the dumpster is or whatever. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we push the limit. Yeah. But I've also dropped stuff out into the back of my truck, my beater truck, and then drove over to the dumpster or whatever. But so the commercial, so it brings up another question. Have you done any explosive demolition yet, or are you into that as well?
So that's another thing we are not into or licensed to do at the moment. That's
got to be pretty big stuff, right?
Yeah, that's typically a lot of, it's going to be, at least from our experience or from what we've learned. I mean, generally speaking, say for example, a 30-story building, there's videos on YouTube you guys can check out. There's been casino buildings that, there's videos of where they'll go in, and it's very strategic to place the explosive, which is typically on the load-bearing supports, and then they're basically imploding it from the bottom out and imploding the entire building. So that's kind of a whole nother field, which is usually also trained, separate crew just for that.
I guess.
That typically the demolition company, as far as I know and what I've seen, hasn't handled. I'm not saying all of them don't, but that's usually their own crew.
That's borderline life or death. Well, a lot of what you do, I'm sure, is borderline life or death. I mean, one wrong turn with a piece of equipment, or I remember a guy got hit by a bucket. The guy swung the backhoe around, and one of the guys coming up out of the hole in the ground got, pretty injured pretty good with that bucket. So, yeah, you
always got to be on our toes.
Stay clear of that. Do you guys wear hard hats as well?
We try to.
Do you?
I will say it's more the commercial side of things.
Yeah.
Just had a crew out a couple weeks ago. So actually, speaking of the Phoenixville job, that had started a year and a half ago. They were making condo units, and it actually just wrapped up about maybe a month or two ago by now. So they had called us back out there and contracted us to take the debris chute back down. Over a year later, they wanted us to keep it up, for all the construction debris.
Okay.
So we had went back. I took a boom lift back out, worked our way up, completely dismantled it, had power lines running through. So stuff like that, I will say we are 100% strict on: hard hats, safety vests, all the PPE, all that good stuff. I will admit, when it comes down to residential, typically not wearing hard hats, stuff like that. We're not perfect. There are times, we don't have them on when we should be, but we try to be as safe as possible.
That's good.
Sure.
Good for you. And then there's us. We show up with our shorts on, our sneakers. I stack 5 or 6 buckets inside each other, stand on the top bucket and waddle it all around. And the amount of I wish I had a nickel for every time someone came on one of our jobs and went, "Is that OSHA approved?" And I'm like, "Don't you worry about it. I feel more comfortable standing on a bucket than I do a stepladder." And that's the truth, because I spent so much time on it. But no, that's awesome. So getting back to did you ever find anything like really neat?
As far as any, I'd say just the basic stuff. We haven't found the jackpot yet. No bundles of money.
Ah, man.
No chunks of gold. Just your standard bottles, which we talked about.
Yeah.
I found, probably more than I could fit in a triaxle's bed worth. Your 7-Up, your old soda cans.
Yeah.
I found some really good condition, which we also talked about, newspapers.
Yeah.
So for my area, the Upper Perk area, the Town and Country is our biggest newspaper. Had found one early 1900s, probably 20s, 30s, if I remember. I'd have to pull it out. But really good condition. We're actually doing an interior residential demo. And pulled up a layer of carpet, and sure enough, there was a stack of them. And I got to say, the integrity of the paper and the quality, it just held up for all those years. I don't know why or how why it was under there, but
that is the neatest.
I still have it in my office.
I know some of the ones we found, like from like the 60s, and you go in there and like, oh, look, it's a 1966 Chevelle for $1,800, brand new, like the pricing and the move. And it's neat to see like, some of like what movies were playing or who was in concert. And I was sharing with Bailey, when we were talking before the show, that we were in a house in Philadelphia and pulled a newspaper out of a wall, and it was from 1901, and it was still intact, and it had one of the first airplanes on it. And it wasn't a Wright Brothers plane, but it said something like introducing the new flying machine. And it said, made several successful flights, which we just thought was the coolest thing. It's actually framed at the, I think, Hanson General Contractors in their office. But I actually do have a picture of it. You have to dig for it in our photo album on the Yocom Drywall Facebook page. So, there's some pictures of it on there. But we've also, some of the artifacts that we did a historic building off of City Line Avenue, which was Benjamin Rush's property. He had signed the Declaration of Independence, and it was in the cemetery where the I think it's called Greenwood Cemetery. And Hanson General Contractor did a multi-million-dollar renovation of the house, which was, I guess, was like the caretaker house, the one and only little house in around thousands of tombstones, right?
That's cool.
And they found, the archaeologists were there, and they pulled the threshold out to replace like the door and all that. And they flipped the wooden, it was just a big hunk of wood. They flipped it over, and it was a sample tombstone from like a 3-year-old kid. And, it was like writing on this about this Nathan, I think it is. Again, there's a picture of that on our Facebook page. But, when they found it, they didn't know what the heck it was. They're like, what is this? But there were archaeologists there, and they're like, that was a sample.
Wow. Way
back then, where that poor kid died, and the tombstone maker did the sample, showed it to the family, got the thumbs up or thumbs down, but they saved that piece of wood and flipped it over, and that's been in there for decades until these guys pulled it out just 10, 12 years ago or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's, you just never know. But man, good stuff, dude. So I know we were talking a little earlier. I mean, this is the Pro Tip Podcast, you know,
is.
and we try to give as much useful information, as much pro tips as we can, kind of, as we go through. But, I think the one scenario I said to you, because as a question I always have, would be like, you get someone's got a basement, maybe block wall, and every time it rains, the water comes in, starts seeping through there. Like, is that something you guys do? Is there a way to stop that you know of? Is it more excavating on the outside, kind of building up, or what makes that, like, it may not be your, it may not be your niche. I'm just asking.
Yeah, so I will say that, I mean, that's really not our niche. I mean, I do know, a common fix to, there's problems that, quite a few homeowners have issues with nowadays, primarily with older homes, stone foundations. I've seen it a lot. A lot of these companies are going in, doing French drains in the basement. They're going around the entire outside, more or less running drainage pipe, whether it's to the sump. There's just, several different ways of doing it. If you're doing it the right way or doing it, not every instance is the same. We have done a few waterproofing jobs where we are excavating outside against the foundation, digging down. We have had a few where we'll excavate, do waterproofing material, some drainage, backfill with approved stone, depending on the application or the job. As far as the interior work, French drains, wouldn't say that's our biggest thing.
Yeah.
But
So it could be a kind of, I guess, a combination, like the cause, maybe a combination of, the excavating outside, how the ground, if it's sloping away, or
that's another thing. Yeah, elevations have a huge part in that. If you have a goalie, a hill, a pit where, any kind it depends how your landscape is.
Yeah.
If water's just sitting down in there, no place to go, no drainage, just over time, it's just going to eat away and just, trickle through. And that's where a lot of
water can do a lot of damage.
Sure can.
And, it's kind of a love-hate thing for us because, probably half our business is patchwork from water damage. People's bathroom, the pipes, the toilet's leaking, so the ceiling falls downstairs, or the bathtub overflows, or the roof leaks, or, and it's nice to be able to go and help people with that, but it's also that whole, it's other people's demise, it's a negative situation for them, but at least we can come fix it. But I guess an auto mechanic could say the same thing,
Very
we
true.
all need them, our cars break down, and that's how they make a living, right?
Very true.
It just dawned on me, I know we were talking a little earlier, wasn't there a oopsie? We talked about maybe taking a building down. Like, did you ever, I said to him, did you ever forget to turn the gas off or something when you are demoing? How'd that happen?
So this was actually fairly recently, and it really humbled me for sure, because we haven't had any major accident in the first 4 years. So we were doing an excavation for a new sewer main from a house, not in the street. There was actually 2 sewer mains on the property that we were contracted to completely replace. It was probably 100 years old, completely decayed cast iron pipe. The property was supposedly vacant for 10, 15 years. They were trying to fix it up, get it back to working order. So we had went out there, had the material ready to go, got it on site. Get out there the first day, got the equipment out there. We start digging, and let me start by saying we had a bit of an office mishap, I will admit. We completely take accountability when we're wrong, which is important.
Pro tip.
Yes. I had thought that the PA1 call ticket was in for this job. So PA1 call is the service that goes out and marks all utilities, underground utilities, which is actually, by law, whenever you're breaking ground, which they define even by a shovel. So say you're digging with a shovel, they want you to call PA1 call. So shovel, machine, whatever. So I had thought the ticket was in. I get out there, nothing's painted. So I had, called him up. I'm like, hey, nothing's painted. What's going on? So long story short, I had gotten the okay to go ahead. They had made me a ticket on site, but nothing was marked. They said, go ahead at, your discretion. So I decided to go for it, and we started at the top and ended up hitting the 2-inch gas main that goes to the house, to the gas meter. Didn't cause an explosion.
Thank God.
I must have got it I was actually operating that day, and I'm happy it was me. But just the tooth, it was to my left. The tooth had just punctured it. It was just a 2-inch plastic line, PVC type line. Not PVC, but the material they use. And there was a very loud spurt that I could hear over the machine at full throttle. So it definitely scared me. I saw the dust go, and right away, I knew I hit it right away. And long story short, that's so far to date our only major mishap, thank God. And point being, I should have waited, definitely, for them to come out and mark. So I learned my lesson there for sure.
Hey, you know what?
So,
it happens, and you learn from it. No one got hurt, right?
No.
Things happen. I can't. I'm 39 years in the business. I have put screws in pipes and had water spraying out. Now, I can count on one hand how many times that happened, or hit a wire or something with a router. Like, it happens, you can, when you're doing so much of it and so much volume and, and there, how do you go careful with a big bucket like that ripping down in there? I mean, right. By the time you find out, you already did the damage pretty much. So, but, it happens.
You live and you learn.
And so was the customer, everyone kind of understanding on that, or?
They came out. UGI came out. We helped them fix it, which everything went well after that. Got it fixed, thank God. Worked everything out with the customer, and that was pretty much that. Good stuff, man. So what's your thoughts? I know we talked a little bit about this before too.
It seems like the trades, if you're in the trades and you're a hard worker and you're good at what you do, you're always going to be busy. Like, I think every one of my contractors that I know, they all say the same thing. Like, man, if I could find the right help, like, you just don't see that many young kids, adults coming through the ranks. And I know they're out there, but is there anything, what are your thoughts on that these days as far as the youth going into the trades? And I went right through Votech school and started drywalling as a senior. I've been doing it ever since. I know you said pretty much the same thing, right? So, like, you have any advice for the youth, or I think?
Yes, I highly recommend it. I think there's this, thing nowadays where it's looked down upon, if you don't go to college, this and that, and you got to go to college to make a good living. And, I got to say that that's definitely untrue, and I'm pretty sure you'd agree. Yeah. Whether, you go and get a good 9 to 5, the trades are so, there's so many opportunity for, whether it's you work your way up through management, through a private company, get into a good union if that's your thing. The prevailing wage work nowadays has skyrocketed. And that's another whole animal in itself, with endless opportunity and amazing pay and benefits.
Yeah.
And then you have the whole, you get in, you learn as much as you can, and you decide to go on your own. And, there's just endless opportunity, to financial freedom, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. And, I've heard recently, just seeing things online, like this surge of AI facilities being built. I heard two different people within the last week talk about it, like electricians. They're like, the need for good certified electricians, especially with this boom of these AI facilities, on top of everything else that's been booming. It's just, there's no, well, my nephew just did it. My nephew came out of high school, put himself through, paid his own way through electrical school up in Reading. I can't think of the name. Maybe I'll have him on a show one time. But he's doing really good for himself. He graduated top of his class.
Awesome.
He's only 22 years old, I think. 22, maybe 23 now, 22.
If you're watching, congratulations.
Yeah, Christian.
Good work.
Yeah. And I missed his graduation. We got to see it on video. They had him speak and he accepted an award, and now he's working his 50 hours a week and loves it. He's, doing something with his hands, and he'll probably be able to write his own paycheck in the next 10 years.
That's awesome.
And I know, kind of on that same note, when I had Ryan Barger here on the previous episode, talking about, oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. We were talking about, I don't know, I'll think about it. It'll come back to me. Something about write your own paycheck, being a kid, and doing the work. But anyway, that'll come back to me. I'm not a podcaster, so can't expect me to remember all this stuff.
We're contractors.
Yeah, we're contractors. So this is going to be not edited. This is just good conversation. But I did lose my train of thought. It'll come back to me right at the very end, I'm sure. But with that being said, do you have... I know we kind of talked about with some tips, but you said you might have some videos maybe that we can post of some buildings maybe coming down, or anything cool to watch, or maybe even some still pictures, or
Absolutely.
any of those to talk about at all, or?
Yeah, so I'm sure a couple of the videos, pictures you guys will see. You'll have probably down at the bottom.
Yep, we'll put it, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, more likely than not, probably throw in some complete demo videos. I know most people like seeing that. Houses, barns. Like I was telling him, we've done numerous. We've done some larger houses. I mean, your typical 3,000 square foot house, 2,500, 2-story houses coming down with the excavator. Some big, 1800s barns. Got some good video and stuff of some of the concrete saw cutting, some of the mechanical stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
So there'll definitely be some good content there.
So you just sparked another question. So when you do the barns, are you a part of, or do you work with anyone else? Because I know there's a big market of guys that'll come in maybe before you actually demo the whole barn. Some of them disassemble them and keep them. Like, I know a guy that has a barn totally disassembled, and it's laying out, covered up, and he's got, that's like, section A, B, and he literally could transport it and put it together. Or they sell the wood to guys that have wood shops and stuff like that. Is that?
So actually, yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So going back to my first month in business, actually, it was probably actually my first big job. It was your typical, your rectangle, big, up on stone foundation, 1800s barn. And it was my first month or two. I know I had went out on my own at that point. I had a gentleman call me from, I believe, a Facebook ad I started pushing. And he's like, hey, are you local to, Percy? And I'm like, yeah. So I go out, check it out. I'm like, man, this is way too big for me. I've never done. I just got out on my own. So it's this big barn. So I start running some numbers. I'm like, man, is this possible? Do I want to jump into it? So I ended up going back to him and being like, hey, not sure we'll be able to handle this at this time. I think we're going to pass. So a day goes by, he actually reached back out to me, and I was transparent with him. I told him, I was like, look, we're, a month or two in business. I have experience running equipment. I'm just not sure I'm confident yet. So long story short, I gotta say, he is probably the only customer that has talked me into doing a job. He's like, hey, I think you should take the shot. I want you to do it. Throw me a number. So I threw him a number and accepted it right away.
That's awesome.
So that night, I was kind of crapping myself a little bit, but just dove right into it. I mean, I knew the equipment I needed to get out there. And going to your point of salvaging the wood, that was actually the first job we did, salvaging the wood, which made it 10 times tougher, but broke us in, and I'm thankful for that. So we had boom lifts out there. Basically taking a circ saw, cutting all the shiplap type wood off, and I'll actually send you those photos. You guys will see that down at the bottom. So by the time we had all the siding off, real thick, really nice wood, you could see all through the barn, all the beams and stuff.
Yeah.
So you were right on with that. Been there, done that.
And I can't imagine how big that market could be, or probably is, like just this whole area, like Lancaster County, like the number of barns.
Yep.
I mean, we've done a ton of them over the years as far as renovating them, into homes, beautiful homes. I mean, they make gorgeous homes if you do it right.
Absolutely.
We've had one that had airplane propeller ceiling fans that were pulley driven in the big main open part of the barn, and there was 3 fan blades, and so and they were all by a pulley. You know what I mean? Like cool. All 3 of them are working together with a pulley system, and just some of the neat stuff that we see, doing what we do. Sure beats sitting at a desk. I think
Does.
I spent a lot of time at my desk over there, and I think there's a time and a place.
Yep.
There's a time where I can't wait to get back to my desk to just sit and get caught, mainly to get caught up on stuff, right? Yep. Yeah, man. Well, Bailey, I'll tell you what a great job, man. So we'll get those videos. We'll get some stuff linked at the bottom here. Before we wrap up, as we're winding down, are there any shout outs you want to give to anybody that that you owe something to? Shout out to your success or anything like that. Suppliers, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. So first off, thanks for having me here. Greatly appreciate
My pleasure,
the
bud. It's a blessing.
Thank you to my wife for putting up with just the start. I mean, you're in it now. It's us. You go through what I go through. So thank God for my wife.
Amen.
All my partners, my mentors, Steve, if you're seeing this, I'm sure you will. Marty, all the guys that have taken their time to mentor me. It's gone such a long way. All my customers, continued customers, we're blessed, and we thank you. And to all our equipment partners, I'm sure you guys will see that also. Our rental guys, we love you. Thank you.
Awesome, good stuff, man. How about how would someone get a hold of you? Now we will also have all your stuff linked down below, but do you have where's your main? Is it Facebook or just phone number? Give you a call or?
So our main platforms are going to be Facebook. We are Precision Services LLC. You'll see this logo here. And then our website is also going to be at the bottom. That'll be www.pdrdemo.com. That has all of our projects, our services, and whatnot. So
Awesome. Wonderful. Dude, you did it, man. Knocked it out of the park.
Thanks,
I appreciate you. Folks, thanks for watching. Again, if you like the content, please like and subscribe and share this with your friends. Between our previous episode and today, and the lineup of people we have, there's a wealth of knowledge here. I mean, I learned a lot. And if you need and get the word out, here's your excavating guy. Here's your demo guy right there, my man, Bailey West. Precision Services, LLC. Over and out. Pro Tip Podcast. Real pros, real stories, and real tips. God bless everybody.